Today I'm going to show you how to sew a really fast and easy cat purse. It is a great beginner's sewing project. If you have never sewn with a zipper or made your own straps, don't worry, I will show you how to do every step, and I promise it's going to be really easy. The straps, you can make any size you want for kids, toddlers, or an adult, and I'm leaving a link in the description box below that you can go to get these pattern pieces. You can print out at home, go ahead and cut them out, and then trace them onto your fabric like I've done here. This is the front of my purse, this is going to be the back, and this is going to be the back lining of my purse. You're also going to need a zipper. If you don't have whatever size you are making, you can cut it down to the length that you need with regular scissors. These two other fabric pieces here are going to be the tabs that we're going to put on the edges of our zipper. This printable pattern piece you can find at AlohaSewingCompany.com. It comes in 3 different sizes. A small one for toddlers, one for children, and one for adults that will fit a cell phone. To make the strap, this is how long I'm making mine because I'm making the toddler purse for my little girl, but the PDF document that you can go to, the link below in the description box, will tell you exactly how to make any size. So now I'm going to attach some fusible fleece to the back of my outer purse fabric pieces. This is completely optional. When you do that, go ahead and trace all 3 pattern pieces of your cat onto your fusible fleece, and then you're going to cut it about 1 centimeter away from your trace line. The top of the piece I just cut, and the bottom of this piece, you are going to just trace it along the line that it's already got. You don't want to cut 1 centimeter out of that. Now again, this is completely optional. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. It just makes it a little bit more sturdy. Here is mine cut out. You can see I cut it about 1 centimeter smaller than my trace lines. Now to apply it, what you're going to do is get your 3 outer purse fabric pieces and your main cat head, go to the back side, and the side of your fusible fleece that has the little dots on it, the rough part, you're going to put that right onto the back side of your fabric. Then you're going to flip all of this over to the other side and press it with your iron. Do it for 5 to 10 seconds and just move it all the way across. You don't need to move it side to side. You want to lift your iron and press it down, lift it and press it down. Now you can see that the glue dots adhere to the back of my fabric, so this isn't going to come off. Now to do the front of my purse, you can see they're 2 different pieces, so that way we can put the zipper in between. What you're going to do is open them up, and I'm going to place the glue side down right onto the back of the front of my fabric. So the places that I'm putting it are going to be the front side of my purse. Press it with your iron and let that adhere as well. While we're still at the iron, let me show you how to sew the straps. You can absolutely use ribbon or store-bought straps if you want to, but for those who like to sew their own, let's do it this way. Fold your fabric all the way down with the wrong sides of the fabric together. You're doing this to create a crease down the center of your fabric strip. Now go and open that back up and you'll see that center crease. Grab the fabric on the bottom of your strap and fold it right up to that center crease. The center crease is going to be our guide mark. Press that down with your iron all the way down your fabric just like you did before, and then do the same thing with the other side. Now you're going to fold this in half one more time so that you meet the 2 folded edges of this strap. Press that with your iron, and then we'll be ready to take it over to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew those 2 folded edges together using about a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way down. We're going to do that to close those 2 together just like this, and then to give it a neater finish, you can go ahead and sew another straight line all the way down your other side of the strap. Now let's go ahead and work on your zipper. We're going to go ahead and make sure that it's cut to the length of the middle of your cat head for the front of your purse. If your zipper part where you see my zipper pull has a piece of metal on it, you want to cut that part off first so that way it doesn't break your sewing machine needle. Mine doesn't have that, so I don't need to worry about that. So you can see here, it's the same size as my cat head. So now let's make the pulls that we're gonna put on the sides of the zipper. Do that by folding it in half, just like you did to make the strap. The wrong side should be kissing together. Then you're gonna bring it up to that middle guide mark, press it, and do the same thing for the other side. Now you're going to fold these two folded edges together, just like you did on that strap, and that creates the tab end for one of your zippers. You're going to do the same exact thing with the other one. And you'll see how if you open this up, it just goes right over top of your zipper end. So you sandwich the zipper right in between the two folded sides. Then you're going to use a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and just sew that down in place. Now let's take this over to our sewing machine and sew a straight line down both sides to hold these in place. Use about a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and again, you're going to do this on both sides. Now let's go ahead and attach this zipper to the front of our purse. To do that, you want to get your front of purse pieces, get the bottom of your cat head, and lay the fold right on top of your zipper. Make sure you're not overlapping on top of the teeth of your zipper. Pin or clip this in place, and then you're going to sew it all the way across down here, just like I'm doing now. And you can see I've moved my sewing machine needle all the way as far as it will go to the left. I did that instead of putting on my zipper foot because there are some people who don't have a zipper foot. If you have a zipper foot, use that. But if not, you can do this on a regular sewing machine. Now you just want to make sure that your fabric doesn't move on top of those teeth of your zipper so that way your zipper can open and close. Now you have that attached. You can see my sewing stayed right close to the fold so that it stayed on top of the zipper. Now go ahead and place the fold of the top of your cat head and do the same exact thing. Now you want to get the lining cat head piece, and this is the inside of your purse. Place with the wrong side facing you. Then you're going to get the back of your purse cat head and place it with the right side facing you. You're sandwiching these two on top of each other with the wrong sides of the fabric kissing, just like here. Now all we want to do is we're going to place a few basting stitches in at several spots all the way around our cat head, just to hold these two pieces of fabric together. You're going to stay about 1/8 of an inch all the way around Or if you're a beginner and you don't really want to sew all the way around, just place it on the sides, across the top, and across the bottom. It's just to hold these in place, and this won't show on your final cat purse. It doesn't matter where you place these stitches as long as you place them around. If you want to sew all the way around it, you can too. But again, it stays right close to the edge just to hold these two pieces of fabric just like this. The next thing you want to do is get your strap pieces, if you're adding a strap, and get the raw edges and place them right in the middle of your cat ears. You want to make sure your strap is sitting straight up and down and not curved in any way. And then just like we did a second ago, we're going to take it to the machine and baste some stitches. That just means place a few stitches to hold this in place. It does not show, again, on your finished product, so it doesn't matter how it looks right now. It's just to hold the straps in place. After you've done that, I like to place 2 pins or clips at the top of my straps to hold them straight. And then you want to just roll the straps to the inside of your purse. We're doing this because in a second, we're going to sandwich this piece, the top of your cat purse for the front, right on top of this. And you don't want to get your straps in the way. Make sure the right sides of your fabric are together and pin or clip all the way around. Make sure your zipper is completely open, so that way when we're done sewing, we can flip this right side out through that opening. Now we're going to take it over to the sewing machine and using about a 1 centimeter, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, sew all the way around this. If you haven't sewn around corners or curves before, let me show you how. You can see here, I'm going to line up the raw edge of my fabric with a place on my sewing machine's foot and use that as my guide. And I sew all the way around using about a 1 centimeter, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Sew slowly around your curves and your corners and make sure that all of your fabrics are lined up when you're sewing this all the way around. Once you get up to your first cat ear, you're going to leave your needle inside of your fabric. Then you're going to lift your presser foot so it lifts that up, rotate your fabric, and then put your presser foot back down. Continue sewing. This is how you get to around corners. Now I made a little teeny dot right on the inside of that inner corner on the top of the cat head so that I knew where to stop my fabric. I do that on both of those inner corners there, so that way I know where to stop that needle for when I need to rotate it for the ears, because as you get closer to sewing that area, knowing when to stop and being able to see it can be difficult sometimes. Now that we have this sewn, we want to go ahead and trim down our seam allowance. That's the excess fabric outside of the stitches. If you have pinking shears, I highly recommend you using those to trim this down. When you use pinking shears on a fabric that frays, it prevents it from fraying, so you don't have to worry about anything coming undone. Make sure you clip across the corners of your cat ears to reduce the bulk in those areas so that when we flip this right side out, they poke out nicely. If you don't have pinking shears, you can just trim down your seam allowance, and if you want to finish off those seams, you can do that with a zigzag stitch. Regardless of if you're using pinking shears or you're just trimming it down yourself, the most important part is to, again, clip the corners off of those ears, and then right at those inner curves at the top of the head, you're going to make 3 small slits right here. You're doing that because if you don't, the fabric will pucker there when you flip it right side out. Now go ahead and through your zipper opening, flip this whole thing right side out. Smoothen out the seams with your fingers while you're doing this. And I also like to go in with a chopstick and press out all of my seams and poke out my corners of the cat ears. If you have any wrinkles or anything like that, go ahead and press it flat with your iron, but make sure you don't iron over top your zipper if it's plastic. You can use whatever kind of zipper you want. But this is what it looks like now. You can see the lining of the fabric on the inside, and because we folded and cut our fabric for the front of the purse, it's also lining it. Now the only thing left to do is to add a piece of ribbon to your zipper. Go ahead and get a 5-inch piece of ribbon and cut it at a slant. Then I like to go over the ends of this ribbon with some heat so that way the ribbon won't fray. And then you're gonna put one of the corners of the ribbon right through the zipper hole. It can be a little bit finicky to get your thicker ribbon in like mine. I'm using a 3/8 of an inch. I recommend 1/8 inch or 3/8 inch width ribbon. Once you have it pulled, go ahead and meet those edges together and just tie it in a knot around your finger. And now you are completely done. This is a really cute, fast, and easy sewing project. I always gear towards teaching beginners, so I have nothing but hundreds of beginner sewing patterns and tutorials. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and if there's a pattern or tutorial that you want to see, comment below. I choose one subscriber every week, and I give them a $50 gift card to use on my sewing patterns as well as the free pattern that they requested. I hope you enjoyed my sewing tutorial. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You have no idea how much it really helps, and you'll be notified anytime a new pattern is released, and that is super easy to follow because I gear towards beginners. I have patterns for children, for babies, for household stuff, for adults, clothing, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you check us out at AlohaSewingCompany.com. And before you go, mahalo.